Good morning, Yamhill County. You are tuned right here to KLYC's To the Root of It. I'm Kyle Hunter. Hi, Ray.
Hey, I'm Ray Van Blarkum. We are your local master gardener, yard and garden counselors. That's what we are.
That's what we do. Every week we go ahead and offer what information
Therapy.
we get from the Oregon State University Extension Office. And we're here to disseminate that information to everybody out there. Right, Ray?
We help you feel better about something that may have died, may have not died, may have not been dead, just went dormant. A lot of things are dormant, going dormant now.
That's right. And we are here to take calls, too, if you have any questions, relating to the gardening right here in Yamhill County. The number to call is 503-435-1260, 503-435-1260. We'll be taking calls throughout the show.
A couple of things we're going to cover today, so you can start thinking about it. Look out your window and see if you are curious about something going on in your yard. We're going to discuss pruning trees and shrubs. I know it's a little early for...
It depends on your school of thought. You can most people will say that you want to wait until the heavy winter is over there because they're afraid that the new wounds will be susceptible during the frost. However, we talk about a different thing later on.
Yeah.
Because there are, like we said, multiple schools of thoughts. We've also got how to take care of your indoor garden that is going on right now, because there are a few things that you want to take care of that are different than the normal summer and spring care for those house plants.
Yeah, you kind of do the opposite of what you've been doing all year.
Right, and then, more importantly, then we have bare roots, and then we go ahead and have, what else do we have? Bare roots, and then pruning. How to prune.
Yep, pruning. Well, actually, you can do a little pruning now, just to get the plants ready for the nasty winter weather that's coming in less than 30 days now.
Well, we definitely should get into the weather right now, because last week we were talking about, what were we talking? We were talking about how there might be no frost issues in the upcoming week.
No, we said they were coming, and here they are.
Right, and they are happening more frequently.
Yeah.
I mean, I woke up and I kicked the dirt, and that hurt my toe.
Like all next week, it's going to be under 30.
Yes.
I was listening to a country and western song on the way in this morning. It says the guy's pleading for his girlfriend to take him somewhere where it's sunny and 75.
Yeah, I guess it's time for those snowbirds to be heading south.
Yeah, it's time to go out and pull the tarp off the trailer.
Well, and I'm looking at the upcoming weather for the week, and I'm looking at the lows are in the mid-30s, and that's for the McMinnville area.
Yeah.
Mid-30s, but that usually means that could be low 30s depending on where you're laying.
Well, remember, like we said last week, that's at the airport.
Right.
And if you live in a valley down along a river, you're going to have more moisture. If you live in a little glen in the edge of the hills, you're going to have more cold air because it'll be feeding down that little valley that your house is beautifully staged in. And in Yamhill County, we actually have, three or four growth zones, climate zones,
right,
according to Sunset Magazine. And so you got to kind of keep, and we'll discuss those at another day.
Right, and because we have very many microclimates, mesoclimates, tropical climates. No,
well, actually, they consider us Mediterranean.
Right. And I was explaining that last night to somebody, Mediterranean climate. And it, of course, Mediterranean is a very vast and wide area, so it's not just necessarily one particular.
Maybe North Greece by the Aegean Sea.
Exactly.
Or it rains on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's about as Mediterranean as we get. No, it's overall temperatures, and because we do stay in the wintertime between 35 to 55, and that's considered,
right.
Not that bad.
We don't get those deep freezes down here in this area. We just have to move a little.
Not deep.
Right.
Once in a while, we'll get one for 2 or 3 weeks, though.
But I've yet to experience that.
It's been probably 10, 12 years since we had a really nasty one.
All right.
But anyway,
But right now, outside, very sunny, very clear.
it's gorgeous.
I honestly, last night going to sleep, I saw that it was clear skies, and I thought that I was going to wake up to some more frost, but not
The
so
air's too dry right now. The humidity's too low.
much. I see.
When the east wind is blowing, that kind of cuts out that frost and keeps the fog blown
So I'm
away.
not seeing any fog either.
No,
All right.
no, you may later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Later next week.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. No. We're going to have bright sunny days according to the
I'm
computer.
looking at a radar map right now that, I mean, the whole Pacific coast looks clear. There's
Yeah.
just a little blip of green somewhere in southern Washington.
Yeah, it's just those days you can go down to the coast right now and see clear to the horizon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's. I love this time of the year if it weren't so dang cold.
Yeah.
I'm actually.
Well, you came into the studio all bundled up like it was 50
I do.
below.
I dressed just like my mother dressed me when I
got
was
the
6.
picture
The
of that.
lady
That's
was
exactly what I
smart.
thought.
I'm a 4-layer man minimum. Yeah, that's
Oh, awesome.
my thermostat just doesn't really adjust down that well.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, it's kind of
But we have family in from out of town, and they're actually sleeping down in our limited heating old last century farmhouse. And so I told them that they either had the opportunity to freeze to death tonight or be really, really hot, because that's basically the only temperatures that you get in our house.
Yeah, ask them how many blankets they want.
Right. Exactly.
Down or knit? we share here. You got to, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Okay, I'll stop that one right
Never
now.
mind, right there. So so that's the weather that we've got going on. Again, really sunny. I'm going to hit the garden today because yeah, well, I haven't gotten my tomatoes out of the
Really?
raised bed.
Oh, you're gonna clean up.
I got to clean. I got to weed. I
Oh.
got to do something.
Oh, it'll be easy. It'll snap right off now.
Let's hope so. I have to figure out a way to get all of the tomato seeds out, and that's not going to happen.
I think we're gonna go do some Christmas bazaars today.
Oh, really?
Later on. Yeah,
Oh, gosh, it is that time of year.
it is. You know,
You like this time of year?
I do. I like goofy stuffed things. My wife made a bunch of stuffed snowmen last week or week before last, and they are just absolutely cute.
That is awesome. Arts
Yeah.
and craft, and this is the best time for eating. I can't wait to get some of the food that's going to be out there.
Okay, we're going to chit-chat about pruning trees and shrubs first.
No.
And
Is that what we're going to talk
Yeah.
about right now? Sure. No, it sounds like a good idea.
there's reasons to do it now as well as there's reasons to do it later next spring. But for right now, it's kind of a grooming, cut out things that are broken or dead, and cut them right off the base of the plant.
Because it's easy to see right now.
Yeah.
You've got the leaves that are
The
all
leaves
gone.
are gone.
It's pretty definitive which branches are actually dead. They're all dried up, and they don't have any buds on them, and
Well,
they just snap off.
You look for ones that have like cracked bark or something like that, you know,
Right.
or they snap off. Even right now, a green branch will still be somewhat pliable. It's not going to snap off on you.
Right.
And the worst that you do to your plant, if you do break one off accidentally, is you just deadheaded it. No big deal.
Right. It'll
It'll
grow
grow.
below that.
Yeah, it'll grow
below
back
that.
next spring.
Right.
But you want to think about it now, especially spindly, limby ones, because if we do get more snow and ice, it'll damage your plant.
It could, absolutely, if it's not not healed up. But the reason that you definitely want to wait until there's been a frost is that the plant by then is very sure that winter has come, so it's started
Yep.
to shut down. All the nitrogen is going down into the roots. That's why the leaves are changing colors, and so it knows that it's time, and you won't promote any new growth, because when you're cutting, if you're cutting in the summer, if you're cutting in early spring, there, the plant is going to say, "Ooh, well, I need to grow a little bit
Yeah,
more."
yeah,
But we're pretty much past that point. The plant isn't going to, you're not going to get any more growth out of this.
Yeah, dormant simply means that they have quit synthesizing sunlight and they have quit producing food.
Right.
They just shut down. It's hibernation.
Yep.
You know, and that's they do it by the lengthening darkness of the days, plants know that kind of stuff because they can sense the heat and warm, and that generates certain growth enzymes and all that kind of chemistry stuff that nobody cares about.
People do care about it. They're the chemists.
That's what makes your plant
botanists
come out all purdy next spring.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are people who care about that kind of stuff. However,
Actually, we do.
Yeah, we do kind of care about it. But the cutting of the trees and the pruning is I don't know. For me, I can do it right now because I know what I'm looking for, and for me, this is a perfect time because everything's fallen off, and so I will probably end up doing that within the next week or two, getting around to doing that.
Except for
Except for
I
what?
was gonna
Except for what?
whine about that sweet gum tree again, but it's gone. It's firewood.
Right.
I can let go of that resentment.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But if you wanted to know how to remove a large branch or some branches like that, the extension website has a great tutorial and has fancy diagrams and things like that that would be really beneficial for the home gardener that just wants to prune one or two trees. We also have publications that have orchards, how to prune an entire orchard. Yeah, but if you know how to prune one tree, you basically know how to prune them all, right?
To some degree, that's true. Because you want to consider fruit trees. I'd go ahead and wait till after you've done the dormant spray on a fruit tree, just because you don't want to spray parts of the tree and then whack them off.
Right.
It's a
It's
waste
a waste
of spray.
Yeah.
But things like camellias, hydrangeas, something that is overgrown its space and has already bloomed this year, you can cut off the blooming stem because they bloom on every other year wood. So if it bloomed this year, that stem ain't going to bloom until 2015.
Right.
By that time, it'll have a new one, trust me.
Right, and there are a few different kinds of plants that's one of the things that you need to know about the tree or the plant, because the shrubs you're also pruning about this time too.
Yeah,
if you're going to prune your trees, you can prune your shrubs right now.
Right.
And you need to know whether it's it's a 2-year wood or a new growth that you're looking to cut.
And you want you don't want to over prune them right now, because there will be more winter damage. I mean, to some degree, more or less. But what you want to do now is take out the stuff that's for sure going to snap off, or is for sure damaged, or you just want to shape your plant to a more pleasing style or shape.
Right.
And you need to know if your plant can be trimmed off at the top, or whether each stem, like if it's a forsythia or something like that, you got to trim it off right down at the base, because each little cane, if you whack it off in the middle, that sucker just goes spring.
Right, and forsythia is a flowering shrub, and that's one of those things that you prune at the time to minimize the disruption of the blooming. But they're going to prune in the late winter for plants like that. Like the daphne, the honeysuckle, the mock orange, and the lilac.
Yeah, because they are some of your earlier bloomers. So you want to do it pretty much right about now, and get ahead of it. Because what do you look for when you're pruning off a twig?
What I'm looking for is something that appears out of place, and something that I don't want to continue to grow that way. And so what I'm hoping to find then is underneath that, viable limbs, viable something that I can cut down to where the new growth is gonna start.
Some kind of a sign of a bud to come.
Right, exactly.
A baby bud.
A baby bud. That's what I'm looking for. But mostly when you're looking at, a branch that you don't want there. And I think that's something that a lot of people, they can overthink it. Because, it's true, you don't want to just go into it and just snip, snip, snip. This is how I want it to look right now, snip. Because it won't necessarily grow into that way. You need to know that, well, maybe if I cut a little bit below there, then it will grow up and over, and that's how I want to shape the bush.
Yeah, I mean, we're not worried about the ones. I got a really cute email last week of giant, like 20, 30 foot tall pruned shrubbery.
Oh, yes.
You know, ducks and geese and bears and deer with antlers and all kinds. This stuff is just humongous. You got to trim it with a man lift. And that's really out in my world. We're just talking about where you want to be. Oh, like, for instance, you may want to be protecting the paint on your house, so you trim off the back of the bush and give
so it's
yourself
not
some
rubbing.
clearance. Yeah,
It's not
back
rubbing.
there, it don't matter. Just whack it off.
Yeah.
It's probably shaded from sunlight and doesn't bloom that much anyway. So anything back at the back of a bush that's up against a house or something, you can pretty much take that off and guilt-free.
Right.
It's a good place to practice cut.
That is a good idea. It is a good
Yeah.
place to. But you'll definitely notice where the sun is not hitting. There'll be
Right.
like this convex hole of
Yeah.
nothingness probably back there.
Hopefully, if you trimmed it right last year.
Right. Yeah. Yep. But it's definitely a good time to hit those house side shrubs.
Yeah. The wind is going to be blowing. It's going to be beating against the side of the house, and
That is a good tip that I did not know. That's right.
never thought about it.
Never thought about that. But well, if you've got a bush right there, what do you care if the paint's all chippy?
Well, it's protect the siding, blah blah
Okay.
blah.
Oh, no, you're absolutely
all that
right.
kind
You
of,
are
unless you got,
absolutely right.
.
But one eyesore can protect another eyesore, apparently.
Yeah, that's true. But it can beat the paint off pretty good.
Yeah.
Even a little, what was it? It's a little bamboo about so tall. It just
Very light, delicate leaves.
I thought, no big deal. The sucker rubbed until it just literally, like it sanded the paint off behind it.
Right.
Yeah, that was, but it's a good time to, if it stretches too far out in the yard, so when you're mowing the lawn, it's slapping you in the forehead, here's an idea.
You don't have to
Trim
just,
that
you
puppy.
don't have to just live with it, right? You don't have to just
No,
keep
you don't have
ducking.
to duck it every time you mow the lawn. Black and Decker, that sucker.
That is funny. Okay, well, we're going to jump into a break right now,
Yeah.
and we'll come back and we'll talk more about the pruning. We'll jump into some bare roots, and that's actually a rock group too. Music
Bare
group,
Roots?
Bare Roots, yeah.
Huh.
But we'll go ahead and jump into this break. You've been listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC 1260 AM.
Have food raiser time at Rice Furniture and Appliance. Help feed Yamhill County and get a good night's sleep. Bring in non-perishable food items and save. Save on all Beauty Rest mattresses, Beauty Sleep, Beauty Rest, True Energy, and Comfortpedic. Come in for the Fall Mattress Triple Bonus event. Bonus 1, free turkey certificate with Beauty Rest and Comfortpedic mattress sets. Bonus 2, free delivery, free setup, and free removal. Bonus 3, for every food item donated, save $5 off up to 10%. Hey, now is the time to buy that mattress you've been wanting and help feed Yamhill County, because it's more than a better night's sleep. It's you fully charged. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, Saturday till 7, closed Sundays, next to Lowe's. So come and get your new Beauty Rest mattress at Rice Furniture and Appliance, where quality and service mean the most and cost the least. And don't forget the food. If you're involved in a vehicle crash, you need to take your car or light truck to a repair center that will fix it right the first time. The philosophy of J&W CarStar Collision Repair Center in McMinnville is relax. We'll take it from here. Roger Fowler stands by his crew's reputation. J&W CarStar Collision Repair Center, 1100 Northeast Lafayette in McMinnville.
This is Norma with KLYC 1260 AM. I do not know about you, but mechanical difficulties with my vehicle and computer have a way of putting an instant hole in my bucket. I say, oh, thank goodness for Ray's Auto Service. On these days, Ray's knows how to make my day with their honest, experienced, and full-service automotive repair shop. Ray's Auto Service is there to assist you with all of your vehicle's repair needs, from the simple oil change and wiper blade replacement to the complex engine, transmission, and like repairs. During the month of November, when you bring your auto into Ray's for mechanical service, bring along 2 canned good items for St. Vincent de Paul's Food Pantry and receive a $10 $50 credit for the first 2 cans on your mechanical bills at Ray's Auto Service. Donations of canned goods is also being accepted at Ray's. Ray's Auto Service is located on the corner of 3rd and Galloway in downtown McMinnville. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 and also on Saturdays for your convenience from 9 to 1.
Welcome back. You are tuned right here to KLYC.
To the root of it was Ray and Kyle, your Master Gardener counselors today.
That's right, and we've been talking about the pruning your trees right now because it's between now and let's say April, March really is a good time before they get a chance to come back to life. Anytime between dormancy is a good time.
Holiday stress removal by attacking your plants with a set of snippers.
Right, and not just any kind of snippers, right? I mean, there are actually the appropriate tools that you need to do this. And what do you got? You've got hand shears. You can take off, a lot. I don't know about you, but I can take off some of those big 2-inch branches with my hand shears that I have, and it's almost a challenge. It's
really?
Like, oh yeah, what can I take off with these small little things?
I'd be sawing on that sucker for a week with a pair of clippers.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like they're coming off easy. It's, you're closing it tight, and you're prying back and forth. But then I went out and bought a pair of loppers. And those are, with the long handles, so you've got a little bit more, what is the word? What is the physics
Leverage.
word? Leverage.
Leverage is good.
Exactly. So it's just like whack. Those things come right off.
I still have a set that actually has a ratchet mechanisms that as you push it together, it goes click, and it doesn't back off, and then you click, and it, and you can just go click, 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 click,
so you
whomp.
can regrip. You can just continually get a regrip for that. That's a good idea.
No, I don't need them anymore. I could use them for a boat weight for that matter. But I still got them.
Right.
Oh, heck, they're about 3 foot long.
Yeah, and
got blades on it, 4 inches on each side. That's
about,
what it'll cut off.
Mine are about 2 feet, and it's a matter of the distance, about how much power you get on those little head.
The one I just carry around in my toolbox in the truck though is just a little. Oh, it's about a 2.5-inch scissor clip. Really is. It came just razor sharp. And then I honed it up a little bit, and the steel's good enough to where, unless you're out cutting rocks or something with it, that sucker will stay sharp for a couple of years.
Honing is, that's a good word. That's, honing.
Yeah, it's good steel.
Is when you're buffing your steel to get a sharper edge, right?
I use my Dremel.
So you can hone your skills, but that's where it comes from, is that?
I just hone my fork.
Well,
my clipper. Don't know.
I'm picturing your forks being honed.
Yeah, with a sandpaper.
Nice.
Negative.
Yeah. So then those are the kinds of tools that you're looking for, and then you've got a nice hand saw that you can always use. Also, some people recommend that you use some alcohol before you do this, so you're not spreading diseases.
And after, so the next tree.
So the next tree that you're cutting, right? Exactly. No, you cannot. It was asked if you can drink the alcohol. No, you cannot drink the rubbing kind.
Yeah. This ain't like slug bait where you pour good beer into a pie pan.
Right. Half for me, half for the slug.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've got the diameters. You've got the big kinds of diameters and the small kinds of diameters, and you just have to find the right tool. I can joke about using the hand shears for those big diameters, but it's not recommended to do that.
As an old man who is wizened in his years,
You are definitely wise.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to go hire some young buck who run up a ladder with a chainsaw. Yeah.
Right.
And $15 an hour is cheap, man.
Right.
And I'll make coffee when you get down. We had to do that over at the house, a house we used to live in. That when they originally built the house and they felled the trees to make room for the house on the lot, that they fell the trees against the limbs of other trees, and then they didn't cut them off, and they all cracked and split wherever the bark was. And
The damage, yeah.
you could see it from the ground. I mean, it was like 2-inch wide gaps and stuff. So when I had the guys come over and cut this stuff down, turned out these limbs are like 6 inches in diameter and probably 30 feet long.
That sounds
They made
good
it-
for logs.
Oh, well, yeah, I ended up with 2 pickup loads of firewood.
Nice. Sounds very perfect. And almost
But-
readily done.
The point being, right after we did that, like 6 weeks or maybe 2 months later, was when we had the 16 inches of snow in the parking lot over there at Safeway. You know.
Oh.
So they definitely would have come down then, and then it would have been, you
Then
know,
it's really dangerous. Another good reason to do the pruning, and I've got my willow tree that it is just, the branches are just destined to fall no matter what the weather is.
yeah.
So, but for safety reasons, I've got a whole back forest of oak trees that just love to fall down, and those are the big, heavy branches.
yeah.
Not these.
Do you use firewood?
I have
Do you have a
until
stove?
I do, and I have, but I'm not doing that anymore because I am not sure if the smoke is making it outside entirely.
Whoa.
So we went ahead and stopped that because we would have the fire and it would be really hot and it heats up the house again because it's an old farmhouse, and we would certainly be warm, but it would come at the cost of a lot of coughing. It's like, wow, maybe the air is dried. No, maybe it's a little smoky.
Have you considered having like the guys over at Amity Fire Department just run out and do a quick chimney check for you?
I didn't know that they could do that.
They can do that.
Wow.
They are actually certified to do that. Some of them.
Wow, that's a good
There's
idea.
probably 1 or 2 guys in the fire department, and just leave a message with the chief or whoever's the receptionist one day when you're driving by, and they'll call you and make an appointment and blah 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 and come up and do that whole thing for you, and make sure that you don't have gaps in your mortar up in the.
Wow.
Because they don't want to come put your house out later.
It makes perfect
really
sense. Yeah, and it's a good training,
Yeah.
possibly for them too.
Yeah.
And,
Something to consider.
What a good
Another
public
little
service.
tip for the day.
Public service. That's
Have
right.
your chimney checked before you start a fire.
Yeah. Before you start a fire, have your chimney checked. That's funny. Well, if you have any questions, you can give us a call. The number is 503-435-1260. If you want to see us streaming live, you can get us
Yeah.
at klyc.us. It's a great addition. We have no demonstrations today.
No, but we will next week, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Well, okay, that's great. So now nobody will tune in
Saturday
because they
after
don't.
Thanksgiving.
Saturday. Oh, what to do with your extra turkey? Is that?
Yeah, maybe.
No, that is not. it.
One more tortilla round. Enchiladas, yeah.
Well, and the information that we got for how to do this pruning is something that's available on the Extension website, as are a whole slew of publications about the gardening and pruning, and you can go to extension.oregonstate.edu/EESC. And that's where you put in a search, and you can look for pruning, look for gardening, look for pesticides, any gardening publications that you might have an interest in, and they're free for the viewing there. But they'll send you a copy. They'll mail you a copy too if you give them a little money.
There's a lot of them that are available just for printing off yourself too, if you have a printer at home.
Right.
And they're free to print off yourself.
And
except
it's a grand
cost of paper.
amount of information. The pruning landscaping trees is one that where we got a lot of the information.
We give a lot of those out.
Uh-huh. Yep. And if you go down to the extension office, they're available down there also, for a nominal fee, like $1.50.
Yeah, it's not much. And there's a lot of them that are free too. And they just keep a stash, and when they get down to the last one, somebody runs off 5 copies.
Yeah, and the reason that we're talking about pruning also is if you have if pruning isn't just enough, or maybe you pruned off that tree and you have more bare space than you're looking for, then you've got bare root trees out there that could
Yeah.
maybe fill in that spot.
Well, this actually it's a pretty good time of the year to go ahead and plant bare root trees and shrubs.
It gives the longer that they have in the ground, then their roots are actually going to be able to expand. And the benefit of the bare roots is over the ones that you see in containers or burlap sacks, is that you don't have all that dirt, weight, and matter that you have to carry around,
Right.
and you're just sticking them in the ground. But you need them to expand those fine root hairs that are at the soil, and they can do that here in Yamhill County because we don't have that heavy frost.
We don't have the deep freezing that you may have in Minnesota or something like that,
or Mount Hood, or
Mount Hood, or definitely a higher climate.
right.
In the preparation of doing this, so you've got to kind of pick a spot, and there was a little caveat in the article I was reading
Oh yeah.
about be sure and have the emergency services people or the power people come and paint those little lines on your lawn.
Yeah, that was something that I saw too. Before you do any digging or planting of the trees, give the power people a call.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess that does make sense.
There's a locate.com or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they come and they paint red for gas and blue for water and yellow for electricity and green for TV cable.
Because they don't want anybody going
No,
around
they
digging up
don't.
their stuff.
Well, stick your shovel in a power line and
see how that feels.
yeah, you get tased big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just wrong on several levels. But you want to go ahead and pick your spot and prepare your hole. Most plants come with some directions on the plant. Dig twice as wide as the root structure, and half again as deep, and then prepare that soil so that the new little roots don't have to fight to get started in the clay. Give them a chance to grow through some chewed up soil first, and they'll settle it in, and the roots grow all winter long because they're down below the frost line. They do what they got to do.
And that's what you're looking for is, but where I'm getting the bare root trees mostly are from the garden sales that are happening in February and
Yeah.
April. So there aren't really a whole lot of things out there, at the nurseries for the bare roots.
Well, the master gardeners had to give up their bare root tree sale we had every February. That used to fund scholarships and stuff. Just one of the many things that master gardeners do.
Which we do.
Which we do. And that was cool. I don't know, maybe.
No, maybe.
No. It might come back someday.
No, but when you think of bare roots, I think of cherries. Cherry
Yeah.
trees. That's one of any of the apples or
Yeah. Because they're
pears.
dormant anyway, aren't
right.
they?
They're asleep right now.
Yeah, they don't care.
But when you see them, it's a different kind of picture than maybe what I grew up with in the biology books, is because as far as the root structure goes, I remember seeing this big tall tree, and then below it you'd have something that mirrored it, and it was actually mirroring. So you would see something that was equally as big and as wide and it kind of
Little
looked like the
dot, dot,
tree
dot drawings.
underneath. Whereas that's not the picture that you see now of what
No.
a tree root system looks like. You have the tree above ground, and then you've got more roots that are growing across no more than 12 inches and down, and then you've got maybe a taproot with some little things.
Yeah, but it's the important part is getting the root structure started, and perennials that you want to put out in your garden. If you want something that's going to bloom in the spring, like anytime after March, you really need to get it in the ground in the fall.
Right,
So
because
that it has
the
all that
roots.
to happen. Now, if it's something that you want to wait and bloom like in July through September, then you can go ahead and wait till March and put it in the ground.
Right.
And it'll have about 6 months to actually get going and do what it's going to do. You want to plan on 4 to 6 months before you see any.
That's a good one. 4 to 6
Yeah.
months before you're expecting the bloom to happen.
Yeah,
on
or
it.
I mean even a leaf. Hey, there we go. We got us a caller.
We do have a phone call.
I was waiting for the light to blink.
That is right. I didn't see it.
Hang in there,
blinking
caller. Don't go away.
Oh.
Turn your radio down, though.
Are you preempting that that volume
Yeah.
down?
Are you there, caller?
And good morning. You're on To the Root of It. No, you are not on To the Root of It.
Somebody
on.
lost patience.
That's okay, because this is something that we've still been working through, and we are going to get it, and we just need that person to go ahead and call back, and we'll push the right button this time. That number is 503-435-1260.
There you go. But anyway, we're talking about pruning and planting and stuff that you can still do in the garden, and it is going to be sunny outside. Just make sure you bundle up to go out and do it and get it done before football.
Which football? My football doesn't start until tomorrow.
Your football? You're pro only.
I am pro only.
Oh,
But
well,
that's okay. But you're right. Most gardeners need to get in there before noon or something like
Right.
that. When it actually starts heating up.
wait till the frost is off the grass.
Because
Anyway,
it is deceptively cold out there.
It is.
It is really. And but you were talking about the flowering, and that's when you need to know when to plant those bare roots.
Right.
Some of those trees that maybe you that we're seeing right now, the plants dying. If you want to add a little color in autumn, then that's something that you could consider waiting until spring. Something like the sweet gums or the dogwoods. You can go ahead and.
yeah. You can actually have blooming perennials, something blooming every month of the year in Oregon. It's one of the cool ideas. You start in January with forsythias. That's that really bright yellow thing that all of a sudden you don't even recognize there's a plant there, and then suddenly it turns yellow. And then later on, the leaves come out.
Right. Right.
And then there's February plants and March plants, and pretty soon you get into your early lilacs and iris.
Early lilacs.
Yeah,
Nice.
stuff like that.
Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into another break right now, and then we'll come back. We'll talk some winter indoor gardening, and we'll go ahead and finish up on some of these bare root plants, bare root trees as well. What else do we have to jump into real quick before quick bulb tips?
Yeah, quick bulb tips, which is another thing you can still do that, for spring bulbing.
There are a few more tips that we can give about that. The number to call, 503-435-1260. You can get us online at KLYC.us. This is To the Root of It on KLYC, 1260 AM.
Golden Valley Restaurant and Brewery is celebrating 20 years of serving you the best times and locally produced food in Yamhill County. Golden Valley Restaurant and Brew Pub at 980 Northeast 4th Street in McMinnville is local. Locally brewed refreshment, fresh local produce, steak specials every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Golden Valley Restaurant and Brew Pub opens daily at 11, open till 9 p.m. Sunday, and most weekdays open till 10 Friday and Saturday. And they say go McMinnville and Newburgh High School. There are times you simply need a friend, someone who will stop and listen to your needs. Macy & Son have a heritage of helping Yamhill County residents in their hour of need. Macy & Son have been serving families here since 1903, 5 generations of their family taking care of yours. Macy & Son, in the business of helping people and meeting the individual needs of McMinnville area families, and will continue to do so in the future. At the time when you need someone who cares, understands, and is there to help, call Macy & Son, serving 9 communities in Yamhill County with funeral needs.
And we are back right here on To the Root of It, KOYC. We've been talking about bare roots and pruning right now. One of the things that I was noticing, because you do see, one of the things that might be unique for me to this region are the Japanese maples and some of those darker red tones and purple tones that I don't really see in the rest of the country. But those things you might want to plant ahead of time. You want to know what's going to because that's the autumn colors. So you can wait until spring to go ahead and plant those also, because they're going to go ahead and, not show until then.
Well, they like to start out with a little warmer soil, and then once they're established for better part of a year, then they can make it through anything. But they kind of need to adapt more gently.
More gently. And
They're finicky.
They do look gentle.
They are. They're a very graceful little tree.
Graceful. What a descriptive word for a tree.
Yeah. You get it a little tutu of Christmas lights, and that sucker is fine to dance in your yard.
That's right. And then some other and some other colors, because that's what I was thinking about more, is what kind of colors you want in your landscape, and some of the trees that might give you that color. So if you're looking for something that's red, then you've got your sweet gums and your black gums and your dogwoods. And but if you're looking for something that's orange, then maybe you want to look for the flowering cherry. And this is something that I've never seen, the sassafras. It's one of those fun words, but I still don't know what a sassafras looks like.
Is that cascara?
See, you're asking the wrong person.
We'll have to look that up.
I need to know what a sassafras is, because it's orange, and I love the color of orange.
Yeah, I have heard it mentioned growing along the river.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Sassafras along the river.
Yeah, might look into that. Might be another water lover.
Oh, yes, I see. So those are the colorful ones that you're looking for, not just the greens, because one thing that I can see in some landscapes is where people don't put enough color in there, because everything's green. But one of the unique things that you can do is you can throw in the golds, and you can throw in the purples and the reds, just with the trees, just with the leaves.
Yeah. I've got a lot of variegated perennials, just for that purpose, just because the leaves are white and green, or yellow and green, or two shades of green, or it just makes kind of a fun aspect to the garden. Changes the color pattern.
And another way to do that is with the flowers on the ground, because bulbs, this is really the time for the bulbs. And I think it seems like we can easily every week say, well, this is the last time for the bulbs. This is when you want to do your bulbs. But really,
actually, this is the time to do them.
This is the time to do them. Yeah, absolutely. Because they need that frost. As soon as they get that frost, they know, oh, well, I guess it's time to start doing what we do, which is producing, getting those carbohydrates moving to different parts of the bulb.
Yeah. Bulbs are a fun thing to do in pots.
You can do them in pots, that's right.
Yeah, I've done that before, where you plant your January bulbs, like crocuses and stuff like that. You put them on top, and then down a little ways you put in the hyacinths that come out in February, and then you do the daffodils, so they come out about 6 inches down with the bulb, and then they come out for March and first part of April, and then the tulips come up. Mm-hmm. So I always got something growing in this pot. It's really kind of a unique idea for a patio or front porch.
Yeah, and but the best time to plant them is when the soil goes below 60 degrees.
Yep.
That's the best time to put them in there. And so that's usually September to December. And then any time after December, you might not be giving them a whole bunch of time to do what they need to do.
Hey, hope, don't give up, caller. We're going to try to do this right, I swear to God.
And good morning, you're on To the Root of It.
Good morning. I really don't have a question or anything. I just wanted to let you guys know I'm so glad you're back on the air. I so much enjoy your show, and I learned so much from it.
Well, thank you so much for calling and letting us know that.
You're our first.
I'm a really true listener.
Yeah, that is so cool. Bless your heart.
Well, what are your gardening interests then?
Oh, I garden pumpkins and tomatoes and green beans, and I live in an apartment, so I do it mostly in pots.
So
that's kind of cool.
And that's what we were talking about today. Was with the bulbs. You can go ahead and throw the bulbs in the pots.
Right, I got all my pots ready.
Nice.
A lot of people use
But I really enjoy listening to you guys. You're wonderful.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. We do have a good time doing this, though, because we both really enjoy
That's
gardening.
awesome. You guys have a great day.
Okay, thanks
All right,
for calling.
thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nope, there we are.
There we are.
Now, come back and turn us back on. We got a caller, and we actually did it by pushing the right button. That is excellent.
It only takes 14 tries. For me, that's all it takes. Once I get 13 under my belt, I'm good to go.
We were talking about bulbs and stuff like that, and it's another thing you can do. You see a lot of these bulbs that people force for Christmas presents.
Right.
Well, it's a little late for that. You can actually start those in the end of September, first part of October, though.
Right.
And it's something to plan for next year. Things like paper whites and even tulips, for that matter. You put them on a bed of rock and let them, it's kind of hydroponic farming for a little bit.
Right. One of the terms that we were learning is the geophytes, and that's the perennial plants that bear buds in underground botanical structures.
They're just unique.
Geophytes.
Geophytes.
Yeah.
So geo is earth.
And phytes is perennial plants that bear buds underground botanical structures.
I love that.
Yeah, those are the Greek terms. But those are the great things that if they've got to be in by December. And the one of the other things is the bigger the bulb, the bigger the flower, which was a great thing that to learn, because sometimes you're picking up those bulbs and you can actually see what they are, and it's a good rule of thumb is the bigger the bulb, the bigger the flower.
That's kind of cool. Takes a lot of energy to make something that grand.
To make them pretty, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been actually kind of taking my own advice with the one house plant we have is a ficus, and it lives by reflected light, so that's what comes down the light tube from the skylight.
Right.
And it just has its own little 4-foot square of living room that it lives in.
And you can't move it from there, otherwise it will die.
It'll die. It'll shed all its leaves before you got it across the room.
Yep. Finicky ficus.
Oh, yeah, they're just hideous. I think twice a year they just turn yellow and get naked for the heck of it.
It's so true.
They do. It's like once in the spring it just goes, and does this little hissy fit.
I think it's winter. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I can't tell. And spits its leaves
Maybe
off.
I'm dying.
I'm like, tui,
You
tui,
don't
tui.
know.
You got no idea. But it's...
But those are the indoor house plants that you need to start to take care of a little bit differently right now, and maybe it is because you're watering it a little less, or
well, this one is the secret to its happiness is 2 quarts of water once a month,
which doesn't seem like a lot,
no,
because you think you need to just keep watering those, but you
no,
don't
that's all it,
them.
and it's blooming leaves and just having a grand time.
That sounds great.
Oh,
so then, what other kind of house plants were you thinking of?
Well, your succulents, your little cactus gardens and stuff like that. That's another one. Don't really bother watering them all that much.
You'll start to see those little gnat flies.
Yep, they'll rot right out off the tray. Most of your tropicals, you can get away with just misting them. Mm-hmm. Maybe water them once a month. And then just mist the leaves. They like misting more than they like actually setting in water.
Most plants aren't getting their water through the leaves, and you're actually doing a disservice to them when you get their leaves wet, because that's
tropicals like to be misted because they live in a humid climate. You can even take and put it in your bathtub and just give it a shower once a month.
Awesome.
Yeah. There we go. Good morning, caller. We're coming to get you here in just a minute. How you doing?
And good morning. You're on the air.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Adam, and I was calling to let you know I was listening to you guys about needing a Bear Root tree sale, and I know that the See You Later Foundation does one here in town every April.
Right,
So
and
that'd be something for your listeners to keep in mind.
that's awesome because that's one of the things that is around here is just those sales that pop up in every grocery parking lot, every parking lot, and they're usually going to a good cause. They're not just out there, some tree farmer to make money. They're usually like Boy Scouts or CCAP or something like that.
Yeah, it's an excellent place to get shrubbery too.
So yeah, I just turned on my radio at the end of you guys talking about the Master Gardeners not doing a Bear Root sale.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
just want to let you know that they are still around, and that's one that goes to a great cause, and they're high-quality trees from Robinson Nursery here in town.
Okay.
Excellent.
So all the way around.
Perfect.
Sweet. Thank you very much, caller.
You guys have a great day.
You too.
You
Adam.
too.
Thanks. Yeah, and it's not just the tree sales. The plant sales are also, but they're usually going to good organizations. And the tree sale for the tree sales, you can get some of these big, huge trees for $5, $10.
Yeah,
and it's
the
pretty,
maples and things like that.
pretty reasonable.
And even fairly decorative trees, fairly unique trees, you can get them for 15 or 20 at the most.
Yeah. A bit.
But you got to know what you're shopping for. I mean,
I can get into trouble, and I have gotten into trouble because it's they'll have a picture of the tree right there and how tall it gets, and at these sales, and it can get dangerous. It's like, oh well, of course I want that tree, and it's only $5. Of course I want it.
you gotta have an idea of where you're gonna put it, though.
Oh, definitely. You have to go into these things with a plan.
We're
but you
gonna
never
take
do.
a little break right now while you think about where you're gonna plant your tree.
Why get in shape? Well, let's talk to some of the folks at Snap Fitness in McMinnville on why they stay in shape and how Snap Fitness helps.
Way. It's quiet. The staff is nice. Broke my arm last year and just trying to lose some weight, and that's why I came here.
What do you say to your friends to motivate them to get in shape?
I think it's healthy and just keep you strong.
Stephen Holmes. I like that the atmosphere makes you feel better. 30 minutes a day and you start lifting or even just come onto the treadmill and it makes your whole day feel 10 times better.
Snap Fitness, 24/7 access, modern equipment and staff to help you get and stay in shape. $64.95 for two people or $39.95 per person. 10% off for college students, steel mill workers, or any group with 7 or more people. Hey, try a 7-day trial pass to see if it's a good fit. Call Michael at 503-379-0065, located on Keck Drive next to Albertsons. Snap Fitness.
Howdy, folks. I'm Eric Elliott, and I'd like to invite you to join me this Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. for Back at the Bunkhouse. I'll be playing some old favorites and introducing you to some friends with the same passion that I have, putting Western back into country. So call a friend, write it down, do what you got to do. Just join me on Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. right here at KLYC 1260 AM for Back at the Bunkhouse.
Hi, I'm Jason, and I'm the service manager for Bugbusters. We are your full-service pest control company. We've been serving Northwest Oregon for over 25 years. We can help you handle any pest or get rid of any bugs, well, except those Volkswagens. Whether it's rats, ants, wasps, beetles, or any other bug or rodent, we can serve you. Mention this ad and get 10% off your first service. Call us today at 1-800-FAT-BUGS. That's 1-800-FAT-BUGS.
This is To the Root of It on KLYC. We've got a few more minutes to discuss, what's going on?
Well, coming in January is the Master Gardener class. That's a really important thing.
And if you've been thinking of becoming a Master Gardener or joining the ranks and learning more about gardening, this is the one and only time of the year to do that. Registration has started. We go ahead and we start classes right here in January.
January
seats,
9th.
Limited seats available, so definitely get on that. You can get more information by walking into the Extension office, which is at 2050 Southeast Lafayette, or are we at Northeast?
I forgot to write down how much it costs this year, though. Do you have any idea?
I do not know. I know that it is actually, let's say that it's $140 for the book, the big, huge binder that has all of the
Includes the
information.
book.
Right. And then there is the another $30 fee. So you should have that information on your head right now, Ray.
Maybe it's $140 for the class and then $30 for the book.
All right.
We'll have that straightened out by next week. I
Why
swear.
do you even offer
Yeah,
information? You're out there to confuse the individuals.
Well, I had it written down and then I forgot that piece of paper.
Oh, that's right.
My bad.
That's
My
right.
bad. I will do it right next week.
But the information can also be found at extension.oregonstate.edu/Yamhill. And then you can also give Ray a phone call. His number is blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's all I need is more beeping in my pocket.
That's
more,
right.
Yeah.
We're streaming at KLYC.us, so and then you can actually go on YouTube and get the show replayed if there's something that you feel like you missed. If you wanted to learn more about the Bear Roots, you can go ahead and replay it. You can also tell all your friends about it, and that's where it's available for that replay is on YouTube.
Yeah. Pretty soon we're going to start talking about the Spring into Gardening seminar that we have in March.
Are you
man.
going to offer information about that you don't have?
No, I'm just going to tease. It's coming, folks. It'll be a biggie.
That's right. What else is coming? Thanksgiving is coming.
Yep.
Did you do your Thanksgiving gardening? You get those nice bouquets. Fill up your horn of plenty.
No, my wife does beautiful table decor. She's really creatively arty.
I see.
It's kind of cool.
Which is good.
I like junk, and she makes it better than anybody.
You're going to be pulling off the rosemary from the herb garden.
Yep.
Getting some of that sage out too.
Yep.
For the stuffings.
Oops.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't pay attention. To
Oh,
that.
okay.
Look, do not.
Flashing
look at
lights.
Do not
They
look at the man
attract my
behind the
attention.
curtain.
It's kind of
Do
like,
not
wow.
Look at the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, we're going to
turkey
be going
herbs.
visiting for Thanksgiving, and we'll probably do something nice along those lines.
Yeah. Always nice to include the garden into the festivities.
Take up a box of gourds.
Right. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and take off right now. What do you think? It's a good
Yeah,
time. It's getting sunny out there.
Yeah, it's getting sunny. It's time to go walk the dog in somebody else's garden.
and you'll do that too.
I do, but I do take my little carry-out bag.
Well, you've been listening to The Root of It right here on KLYC, 1260 AM. We're the weekly Yamhill County gardening show. We'll be here next week, 9 a.m., bright and early. Right, Ray?
Right. And we talk about gardening in Yamhill County because
we don't live in any other county.
No, and don't really care to. We got it all right here.
Okay. Well, thanks for
stopping by, folks.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
You bet.
We play your music. KLYC, McMinnville, Lafayette.